This chapter is absolutely beautiful. If you want to be touched, I recommend you read it today. Verse 19 is where I'm going to start. Blessed be the Lord who bears our burden day by day, the God who is our salvation. Salah. God is to us a God of acts of salvation. And to God, the Lord, belongs escapes from death, setting us free. Surely God will shatter the head of his enemies, the hairy scalp of one who goes on in his guilty ways. This is telling us that salvation is not a one-time act of receiving the Holy Spirit, but it is a daily act of God taking us out of sin and darkness and bringing us into freedom and helping us to escape from death and being under God's wrath. It is a daily and a lot of times moment by moment thing, right? And verse 21 talks about continuing in his guilty ways. That is talking about the law. If you are continuing in your own righteousness, trying to find favor from God in your own righteousness and your own obedience, you are guilty. He is a father to the fatherless and a judge and protector of the widows. Is God in his holy habitation. God makes a home for the lonely. He leads the prisoners into prosperity. Only the stubborn and rebellious dwell in a parched land. This is telling us, one, prosperity is it's not usually finances, but it is prosperity from within, of being set free, of feeling peace and joy when your circumstances tell you you shouldn't feel that way. And only the stubborn and rebellious dwell in a parched land, meaning if you are not having a relationship with God where you are experiencing freedom, where you are experiencing this peace and this joy, then you are choosing to stay in a parched land. Oh God, when you went out before your people, when you marched through the wilderness, Salah, he goes before us. The earth trembled. The heavens also poured down rain at the presence of God. Sinai itself trembled at the presence of God, the God of Israel. Sinai is a mountain where God gave Moses the law and established a covenant with the Israelites, signifying divine truth and the truth of faith. It symbolizes the place where God revealed himself. God is Jesus, who fulfilled the law and brought a new covenant, which circumcises our hearts. The rain symbolizes his presence and the freedom we inherit through the living water. It's about faith. The Israelites had faith in the law. Faith is belief, right? They believed that following the law would bring them righteousness. Faith always has action behind it. Belief has action behind it. I did an in-depth study on faith. It comes from the Hebrew words aman and amunah. And both of them are about action. When we truly believe in something, we will act and move in it. You, O God, sent abroad plentiful rain. You confirmed your inheritance when it was parched and weary. We are his inheritance. He confirms us when we are parched and weary. He brings living water. He brings rain. The rain symbolizes his presence to us. The Lord gives the command to take Canaan, your promised land, now. The women who proclaim the good news are a great host. When you lie down to rest among the sheepfolds, under the protection and provision of the Lord, you, Israel, we are Israel, are like the wings of a dove of victory, overlaid with silver, its feathers glistening with gold. Why do you look with envy, mountains with many peaks, at the mountain of the city of Zion, which God has desired for his dwelling place? Yes, the Lord will dwell there forever. This is talking about people who walk in their own righteousness, who follow the law, who try to be obedient and gain God's favor through their own works. Why are you looking at those of us who are having the Lord dwell within us and change our hearts to make us look more like him and take on his righteousness? Blessed be the Lord who bears our burden day by day. He brings us into his righteousness, into looking like him and being like him by bearing our burdens day by day. The God who is our salvation. God is to us a God of acts of salvation, multiple acts. And to God, the Lord, belong escapes from death. Surely God will shatter the head of his enemies, a hairy scalp of one who goes on in his guilty ways. Don't continue trying to get God's favor by doing your own works and your own obedience. Have a relationship with God. Surrender your heart to him, and he will change you from the inside. Faith is an action. Move, and you will experience the Lord.